we're going to now talk about strong side and weak side with back control. You're never going to be seated in an upright position when you're actually fighting somebody. Sometimes when we're or when we're drilling these things, or when we're first practicing learning how to kind of enter in, especially when if you guys have never done jiu-jitsu or back control before, and this might be your first kind of step into that, it's obviously more comfortable to sit upright first and put the hooks in, but we're going to naturally be always on one side. What I'm going to talk about first is the strong side, and why it's called the strong side, and how we want to position ourselves there, because that's where we're going to be mounting our offense here for, or where we want to primarily be for control as well within this series. So, as I've established this position, we are going to fall to the side that I have the overhook. And so this is the arm that's over top of Kevin's shoulders. This would be the underhook side, where it's coming out from underneath his armpit. So we're going to naturally be on this side of our body. The reason why this is called the strong side is, one, it allows me to build up into base and be strong, but it also gives me better control of his shoulders. Because this arm is over top and clamping down, if Kevin tries to drive himself up and away, his shoulder is driving a ton of pressure right now that you can't see, obviously, right here into my arm, and my arm is getting braced against the floor, and he can't go anywhere. Where on the weak side, as I'll go over, there creates this opening that allows him to go through. So here I think of the strong side also as the closed side, just as like an idea for being able to close the shoulders and stop him from being able to escape. Now, talking about the configurations that I lightly mentioned before. There's the control configuration, and then there's more of an attack configuration. The problem with the control configuration here is that my elbow is my entire arm is just extended along the mat right now. I don't have very good base, and there's a lot of leverage here for Kevin to grab onto. And so if he holds onto this arm right now, I have poor base, and I have no ability to be able to actually choke him. What we're looking at doing is moving from having this seatbelt control, the same grip, here centered at his chest, to withdrawing it and being posted up on our elbow. And so now my underhook ends up actually going and sitting right above his shoulders, or even a little bit behind his shoulders, depending on how tall you are. And it's still got the same grip over top of my fist, and I'm posted on my elbow. Now I have base. Because I'm on my elbow, I'm a lot more mobile. I'm going to have a lot more options for being able to reset. I'm never going to end up losing the position. And now if Kevin tries to grab and reach at my killing hand, it's extremely difficult for him to do so because it's so far back. So we'll just turn slightly here. So instead of being posted like this, where you can see I'm sitting on my shoulder, my ability to try and pull my arm out, especially if he's got grips on it, I'm going to be really stuck here. And this is where you may end up in some of these situations. We've all done it when we were first learning, where Kevin starts to manage to get his back to the floor again, and then he turns into me, and I end up in bottom position. Wow. You should never go from back control, the best position in fighting, in jiu-jitsu, and end up on the bottom. By me being here, so in this situation, if you ended up here, you're just going to look to try and withdraw this arm and build up. Even if the arms let go, that's fine at first. We just got to make sure we're keeping really strong chest to back connection, grip together to form that closed circuit. So now I can still create this pinch, my chin over top of his shoulder. So try and turn into me, Kevin. Here. Now, worst case scenario, he starts to get his shoulders to the mat. Turn into me. He's naturally underneath me at this point because I am so much higher up. So keep turning into me, Kevin. I'm able to move straight into mount or any kind of position in which I'm staying in top in a dominant position. I'll go over a better way of just making sure you guys know the fundamental steps of making sure that you stay in top position. But what it also does is it hides this killing hand. So that if Kevin was trying to dig at my arm right now, you can see how it's really far back. Sometimes I'll even take this arm, if he's really grabbing back and he's trying to grab at my sleeves, I'll post it further back. Because as long as I got this control where I'm really pinching with my underhooking side and I'm keeping that chest to back connection and I'm closing my chin over his shoulder, if he tries to turn into me right now, he still can't. Depending on the skill difference between you and your partner or the size, if Kevin was significantly bigger and stronger than me, I wouldn't be able to get away with this, but because we're close in weight, I'm able to do this. So it'll be a feel thing. You'll know when you can do it, experiment with it. If you feel you're going to lose the control, start bringing your hands back together. But as he's trying to grab back, he can't reach it, and I'm going to be able to still shoot through unobstructed, relatively unobstructed, because he was never able to actually get meaningful lever control of that arm. And so the killing hand was always protected, and so I was always free to move to an attack whenever I wanted. So that's the strong side. Anytime you fall to the side with your arm over top of the shoulder, try and post up on that elbow. It's going to make your attack stronger. It's going to make your control stronger.